Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa Allen, pronouns she, her, and I am one of the co-directors of the Notebooks Collective. We are a virtual literary art space focused on community, connection, and continued learning. The Notebooks Collective believes that Black Lives Matter and acknowledges that as a virtual organization, our offices are on the lands of the Kickapoo, Nipmuc, Agawam, Massachusetts, and Pawtucket tribes. Native peoples across the world continue to persevere and celebrate their cultures, and we encourage you to support Native writers and artists. As we do this land acknowledgement, we want to recognize those who are suffering from conquest and terror in the Middle East, Ukraine, and elsewhere around the globe. We know that these are stressful times, and we are glad you have joined us tonight to celebrate community. I now welcome Becca to introduce our readers tonight.
Thank you, Lisa. I really actually don't know how to introduce an event like this because this is the first time we've ever done something like this before. There are so many people here who are special to us, who have shared their insight and creativity with us over the past few years when they took a chance on us to do an event. Some readers are friends, some are friends of friends, and some we just got the courage to reach out to and ask. Building a community takes a lot of work, and it's time like these that we understand why we do it. Tonight with us, we have about 17 readers, including Lisa and I, and who will share our work with you. These readers come from events we did as early as February 2021, when Lisa and I thought we would try this whole online literary space thing out. We have readers from all over the country, teachers, mentors, friends, and poets. We have a reader who will be with us for the first time this August, Karen, and I'm thrilled to get a little taste of her work before her event. We have readers with first books, no books, lots of books. And as our evening progresses, we will be sharing websites and book links, etc., by our guests. We encourage you to use the reactions in chat, to interact, and we are thrilled that we get to kick off this event tonight with Quintin Collins.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for listening. So I'm just going to read a few poems, and then I'll get up out your way. So this first poem I'm going to read is called When the Hymns Come Back In. When my skin suctioned to leather in my grand's Lexus, organs and altos bounded out the windows, church music, on the way to church for more hymns, fanning my ears like the programs creased and pinched between Sunday best manicures. Hats feathered and rainbowed, the pews bobbing to the cadence of the choir director swaying in his robes. Even when exhaustion snatched my attention until I fell asleep with my head on Grand's lap, the music crept in. The pounding on the keys, the drums trampling from apse to vestibule, vocal harmonies tethering us to our God in heaven. And then again on the drive home. And then again on my deck on Sundays when the church 2 doors down bulges beyond its property line with song and speech, sermons, testimonies, and hymns ricochet in my ears, and I permit that Holy Ghost to seesaw my shoulders and feet to the beat. Something about that organ welcomes nostalgia. How a choir swelling into one voice for service returns me to melting in the back of Grand's car for a God I don't know how to love. And so this next poem is called The Cookout Plays R. Kelly. Because we can't love a devil if he can't sing. And we can't sin if the hellfire don't two-step us to forsake stomping and strutting in the Lord's house. Forgiveness list over to the stereo to play R. Kelly, Step in the Name of Love, as if we never knew about Aaliyah, or watched Robert Vulture about the Markham wreck or the movie theater, waiting for hordes of 2 young fans to drizzle devotion into his ears. No protest crossfades the crooner and his ills for a tune of better repute. The steppers still spin and shuffle by the potato salad and hot links. That same bounty of food we prayed God would bless, as well as all who fall because we all have our demons, right? As someone mentions Boondocks and Chappelle Show skits and the tape, the Isley Brothers' contagious butters karaoke for most throats and mouths, even those with a maw full of ribs. Someone says, I stopped listening to him, even the features and songs he produced. Someone else tuts, I'm probably going to hell for what I'm about to say. There's an uncle who isn't allowed to come to the cookouts. There's a cousin who avoids another one. There's a cousin who glazed Amazing Grace over a funeral for a grandma who wouldn't know what she would do if one of her grandbabies were gay. There's an aunt who doesn't know how to love or share a home with her son, so she dead names and condemns to hell before dancing to ignition. Meanwhile, Robert tells heaven he needs a hug. And his lyrics baste the tongues once more, separating the artist from the artifice. He simmered for the comeback PR scheme. Some boil, some sugar, spin and shuffle, a praise dance, and a testimony that burns, tarnishes for the devil we won't acknowledge. Thank you. And so next up to the virtual floor, we have Sara Moore Wagner.
Thank you. And thank you so much, Quintin. That was really amazing. And thanks to Lisa and Notebooks Collective for having me here. I'm going to read 2 poems from my book, Lady Wingshot. And thanks to the Notebook Collective, I'll be doing a workshop on historical poetry and biographical poetry. So if you want to see some of that, let them know. I'm going to read 2 poems that are centered kind of on a train crash that happened at the end of Annie Oakley's life, and not the end of her life, the end of her career. Even her hair was a mask. Annie Oakley emerged from a trust. I need to start over. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm like in the basement while my children are yelling above me, so start again. Even her hair was a mask. Annie Oakley emerged from a crushed train, from her little carpeted room in the rear car of the Buffalo Bills Wild West Show Grand American Tour, to chaos and slaughter, carnage of show animals, horses and mules split at the ribs, wood and bone cracked open like walnuts. Of course, she was fine, but limping through the ruins of that great fable of the Wild West, first myth of America laid to waste and smoking. Annie Oakley, barefoot and in her house dress, plodded through wreckage, charred wood showing age and lines of each cut timber. It was a lie, though, that her hair turned white overnight. No rupture was so transformative. It was always platinum, poured from her head at birth. White spider silk was like corn silk, said her mother, was like clouds, said her sisters, like milk, said her husbands. Hands and her hair, whiter than her teeth and the whites of her eyes. It was unnaturally clean. The powder residue from her first gunshot darkened it. Blood darkened it. Those hands and sooty fingertips raked through it as any tool rakes through the land. When Annie Oakley showed up with a fistful of bodies, squirrels, quail, fat rabbits to sell to feed her mother, her hair was dark, knotted as brambles, curled round like greenbrier vines, prickly and unkempt. Her hair was a thicket she left long on her back to say, this is what I am now. Brunette and wild and covered complete, every little strand. Like America, I am not who you think I am. The last one I'll read is called In Which I Escaped Death Like Annie Oakley. Tell me how to walk the blood river under the tracks. I've made my way back to the forest where my father sits still in his deer blind, shielded from splinters the moon leaves on the dirt. I am afraid of everything. Each night is a rickety wooden train car. How will I die, and who will I leave behind me, impaled on the railroad spikes? Who will take up his gun and chase what's crushed me into the forest and up a tree, out? Give me a father who will lay me under a tulip poplar, bloom me yellow and green. A husband who will find me dumped into a swamp and carry me to the hospital. Hook me up to the oxygen, watch the lights above me. will feed me pudding and fat butter biscuits dripping honey. Let me remember my arms and legs, how I've carried myself in and out of every room before this, whole and impeccable as a clay pigeon just before it's tossed into the sky. Let only my hair turn white, a metaphor of time, of gathering clouds, of emptiness that isn't night. Let me survive. And after me is the amazing director and host, Lisa Allen.
Thank you, Sarah. Co-director with Becca, because I couldn't do any of this without Becca, and I think it's mutual. I'm going to read 2 poems. My great aunt tells my mother I am such a good girl. I remember the butterfly, brittle and pinned to the black velvet of a shadow box, how it hung next to her dresser. She loved that butterfly, the orange and yellow of its wings, a riot in that house of neutrals, the worn brown couch, the black prayer books, her wooden rosaries, the unusual extravagance of it. She and her sister, the 2 who never married, alone, together in that cluttered house. I had to touch those orange and yellow wings. I pushed a chair to the dresser and took that box from the wall. How delicate those wings, how easily the first rip came, an accident from my small hands, but not the second or the 8th, and I didn't stop until all that was left intact was the thorax, the abdomen, the antenna. I didn't stop until those wings were orange and yellow confetti littering the bottom of that black velvet box. I didn't stop until she took her frame, her gnarled fingers soft on my 5-year-old hands, and stashed it in her closet. I didn't stop until she filled that empty space with a crucifix borrowed from the living room wall. And my last one is, Mary, do you see my child in all their heavenly splendor? Tell me what you saw that gloriously sun-soaked day. Did you see the splintered stained glass reverie, rainbows cast across each pew? Or did you see my pride as I watched my youngest child walk down the aisle, white satin dressed, pink rosebuds in their hair? Did you marvel with me at how small the communicants seemed, eyes fixed on the floor, fingers tulipped in prescripted prayer, chanting words I know by heart, body and blood of Christ, consubstantial with the Father, through him all good things are made. I taught them to recite those words too, called them what my father and the church named them, boy, girl, Catholic. Until my baby confessed, told me they're more bow tie than dress, but neither exactly. And it was then I began to see. The church's mysteries, sorrowful, dolorous, but my child's eyes, joyful, glorious, the way your son made. To thee I do come, Mary, before thee I stand, sinful, my shame sour as lilies left after the celebration. I implore thy help. Despise not my petitions, but in thy mercy hear and answer me. Mary, I offer penance only to my child, alms for every moment they felt othered, unseen. And you, fellow mother, O mother of the Word incarnate, you in that chair to the right of your son, your words a whisper in his ear. For you, I leave these tulips wilted at your feet. Next up is Claire Schwartz.
Hi, thank you everyone as soon as possible. It's really beautiful to be gathered with all of you. I'm just going to read one poem, Object Lesson. You learn to recognize beauty by its frame. In the gilded hall, in the gilded frame, her milky neck extended as she peers over the drawn bath. A target, a study, a class. To be beautiful, she requires you. You should save her, no matter the price. No matter the price, the curator will take it. Acquisition makes him good. He hangs the woman's image in the museum, where school children stand before it, anointed with lessons in color and feeling. Pay attention, the teacher scolds the fidgeter in back. Bad, the child whose movement dilates her own beauty. The child whose wails call to his mother, most beautiful of all. Eyes this way, the teacher syrups. All that grows rots. Good little stillnesses, guardians to be. If you are good, one day an embossed invitation will arrive at the door of the house you own. You will sit next to the curator, light chattering along the chandeliers, your napkin shaped like a swan. To protect your silk, you snap its neck with flourish. The blood, beautiful, reddening your cheeks as you slip into the chair drawn just for you. Sit, the chair says to the patron. Stand to the guard. The guard shifts on blistered feet. She loves you. She loves you not. The children pluck the daisy bald, discard their little son in the gutter. And before I pass it to the wonderful Sara Ghazal Ali, who's going to read next, I just really want to encourage everyone to give what they can for, I think, for Khalil's family, who's trying to leave Gaza as so many others are, and to do everything you can to struggle toward a free Palestine, and holding that in my heart and grateful to be gathered with people who are as well. Pass it to Sara.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Lisa and Becca, for having us all here. This is really wonderful. I'll read 2 poems, one by myself and one by a friend. This first one is by myself. Ism. The name of God is sufficient for me. Merciful, beneficent, I want to want little else. I shouldn't say that I'm there yet, wanting little else but the name, not when nothing flusters me like an image, Mount Tamalpais, an acrylic salmon and sage, the hue, the brown eddies of my own eyes, every staggering sight. But I hush them, my zealous eyes. I recite. Said the angel, recite in the name of your Lord. I come from a people who begin with the name, who absent the face, who efface and know it faith, who say Bismillah before breathing, before leaving. The name is in the name, Ism, in the name, in Arabic. You see, I don't see to believe, don't desire a babbling bush or shrinking sea halves. I am trying not to worship my eager eyes. Doesn't the mantis shrimp see more color than any other creature alive? A poet says our long gone loves remain lateral, unseen but quiet beside us, perhaps. I admire that belief in a love that doesn't leave. Here-ism or remain-ism, more convincing an ism that beckons than inflicts a rift. I believe in the weakness of my species, the lure of our many malevolent isms. I won't name them. For love of the name, I learn instead all that I can of what grows softly without seeking praise. O linden, lichen, mulberry underripe, fragrant fisted peony, O flower medicinal, emollient aloe, I call you by your name, Bismillah, O divine unseen whose name I know, Ism of isms, remain here, invisible, and I will call to you crouched, recognizing each green by touch, by name. by sense unseen. And this next poem is by the brilliant, wonderful Palestinian poet Summer Farah, who has a chapbook out now too, which I will drop a link to. Portrait of each moon that has seen Link live. New moon, blood moon, moon with the ghastly face, moon I took for granted, moon that kisses the sea, the little moon that dilates pupils to madness. I worship whatever claims to make me sane. I worship sun and sky. I kiss the dirt and run from bugs. I respect the spider living in the window. I ask, what have I done to deserve this? I ask, what have I done to deserve this? I ask, what have I done to deserve? There is blood in places I could have never imagined, wrists rimmed with time, back of palms tattooed with wisdom, courage, power, dust, moon. There has always been that possibility of madness when we encounter our shadow selves every once in a cycle. Reflective pools reveal our dance. I could die today and live again. I could die today and live again. I could die today and live again. I could die today and live. Up next is Kathi Aguero.
Thank you, Rebecca and Lisa, for inviting me to be part of this amazing and important event. I'm going to read one poem. Good night, moon over Gaza, after Margaret Wise Brown. Good night, moon. Good night, drones. Good night, sobs. Good night, moans. Good night, lost paper, pens and books, soccer ball, teddy bear, paints and blocks. Good night to the voices that shout in the dark. Good night to the rockets, their orange, red arc. Good night to the smoke, its choking and stink. Good night to erasers, to chalkboard and ink. Good night, schoolyard. Good night, teachers. Good night, body bags carried on stretchers. Good night, hospital collapsed by a bomb. Good night, someone's leg. Good night, someone's arm. Good night, shards of glass that sparkle and slice. Good night to the moths and good night to the flies. Good night, Gaza City. Good night, Tent in Rafah. Good night, Mama's singing. Good night, Papa's laughter. Good night, muddy water. Good night, moldy bread. Good night to the bandages around Ahmed's head. Good night, hungry kitten. Good night, hungry rat. Good night, hungry brother and sister and aunt. Good night, my best friend, still my double star. Good night, dined, trapped in a car, hungry and thirsty, alone with her dead. We know nothing about this, the IDF said. Good night, sirens. Good night, fear. Good night, soldiers everywhere. So next, let's welcome Jessica Johnson.
Thank you. I'm going to read two of my own poems that are old and about children and parents in the hope that invoking what is delicate and vulnerable in our own lives can prompt us into action in defense of other lives that are just as precious as our own. This is a found poem called Girl, and it is mostly things that my daughter said when she was about 5. Girl. I don't know why I talk and talk and talk. Sometimes people mind, but mostly not. I constellate my horses to see how their bodies work. And when that's done, I gather all my shells and think of when I broke my favorite crown. I lay my shells and rocks and money in the light. The trees can suck you up into the blue. Behind it, there's a unicorn of stars. The earth is busy making towns and towns and towns, and if the stars touch earth, a fire starts. My throat is hot and I take off my dress, and when that's done, I touch my center one long time. This shell is made of dust, this one of bone. The arrow I am tangles with the sun. And one more called Rabbits. A certain kind of work enlists the whole mind in its hardness and wears down all shapes but its own. When I gave birth to the girl 10 years ago, I nursed anxiety too, a little animal, the shape of what might happen, the shape of the girl but wrong, conjured in visions of the girl going blue or tipping headfirst into the tub and me not there to pluck her out. If you have tits, you have to feed who's there. So I was raised, and so the blue thing grew. Weight of my feeling, scent of every not enough, too much didn't make it. The girl might well inherit. But what's true is better than I've known how to see, real as a poem trying to be written, a whole world that flutters to shreds if I enter it, attending to too much. When I can arrange it so there isn't too much work, I take the real and true girl to the coast where the pines twist improbably, and storybook rabbits, blue and black, pinto and roan, graze beside the parking lot and return to their blackberry thicket under the freeway where they must die all the time and also live. The fierce Pacific erupts in lines of white mist. The girl's hair levitates around her face. The weather comes hard and stays as long as it needs to, and we sit on a wet log watching what might happen, happening, beautiful. Thank you. Suzanne Frank is next.
Thanks, Jessica. That was lovely. And thanks to Lisa and Rebecca for all you do for poetry. And so many different voices tonight. It's just wonderful. I'm going to read two of the poems that are going to be in the anthology next year that Rhino is publishing called The Overturning. And overturning of Roe v. Wade and overturning of a lot of other things in this society, in this country. Knocked Up, 1967. She loves the hot, sticky, deep earth smells, the greedy, gulping way it feels over and over in the back seat of his old Dodge where they tangle and knot like snakes. She's late, checks her panties, the calendar, 1 month, then 2. Her nipples hurt. She can't bear the smell of eggs and pees her pants. Everything is furtive. Midnight calls, saltines in her pocket, failing marks. She fails everything except the baby she carries inside her like a small purse. Her mother is curled in a favorite chair, smoking and content when she tells. There is no air in the room. Like being on the moon, words tinny and broken. It is done. Of course, they marry. And as if everyone doesn't smirk, I knew it, why else so fast? And in March, a dreary month with leftover piles of dirty snow. The wedding photos are in a shoebox. Her puffy face, teary eyes, her mother's stiff smile. All grim except for Granny in her red pillbox hat, who seems to be having a good time. This poem is about the amazing change that happens when you're pregnant in so many ways, mentally and physically. Shape-shifting, 1967. She wonders how a body can change so, like a waxing moon hidden in an awful polyester smock. She does not glow like Mona Lisa or the Madonna, but sweats in a Florida 3-room rental, where she no longer cares about cockroaches, the unmade bed, how late she sleeps, how late he comes home, or where he was. She disappears into turquoise walls, stands heavy like a cow, no longer buoyant, having forgotten the wind, to be sure. The next reader is Anne-Marie Oomen.
Hello, is the screen shared?
Yes.
Thank you. Oops, but now I can't see. Just a second. I have to do something here to get back to my text. Just a second. Okay, now you can do it. Thank you. Thank you, Susan, and thank you to Notebooks Collective, Becca, and always Lisa, and to all of you who have spoken of children. It's impressive. This poem is from an unpublished manuscript, Innocence in Peril, that I am developing with the documentary photographer Taro Yamasaki, who took pictures the world over of children hurt by war or regimes of oppression. You will hear two voices going back and forth, his explanation of the photo that you're looking at and my ekphrastic response based on the photo and journalism around the historical incident. Though this piece is about Nicaragua, I think the relevance is obvious for today. Taro speaks of Elda Sanchez. Taro. During the Civil War, I was sent to tell the story of the children who were injured as a result of the war. In that place, the roads were empty. Land mines were everywhere, but no one knew exactly where. There was little gasoline, so when someone had gasoline, everyone piled onto the trucks. This truck had 52 people crowded on it, all standing in the bed. 52. Old truck, old road. The dust and disrepair of it, father, mother, daughter of it, aunt clinging to the pipe railing of it, the cool surface roughing her palms, the happy to be going of it, the clinging to the sway of it, as if they were wind with it. Taro. And then the US made landmine that maimed 48 of the 52 people, that tore them apart. The force, they said it was almost casual. Some are smiling when it comes, sudden, surprised, concussed, in 1,000 crooked points, 1,000 needles of light, a sky of disjointed stars, the lace of metal and flesh, the heft and silence, the theft of it. Then bodies in flight, loose as a tree's limb, broken in wind, father, aunt, village named pain, village named maimed, all kinds, all kin, lost hands, eyes, thought, for some, the forever of it. Taro. The light was fading. Though I worked with an interpreter, very little needed to be said. I spoke to Elda's father, a pastor in the church, and then Elda, his daughter. I asked if they thought maybe a picture would show people how terrible this war was, how children suffered. The camera, binding weight of it, shoulder, arm, hand of it, the eye to the viewfinder, the looking through, the looking to, adjustments, f-stops, aperture, the sound, a stutter without words, the shutter, early rain, insects hitting glass, the pulse of it. Taro. Elda's father believed in the power of the photograph. He asked, she nodded. It was what they could do. I'd have to work quickly. The iron gate was there. It was all there. In her eyes. Is this possible? A look as if she could heat stone. She braces her shoulders to steady herself against a wall with wrought iron, the curved metal of time and destiny pressing her skin with an imprint of rust that stands for a word unspoken that means bent but unbroken. Taro. I tried to know what must come through so that people would see what had been lost. With Elda, I thought of something, a way to show the world. I asked. The removal, oddly swift, the practice of it. And then she leans back, her prosthetic resting next to her on the earth, the non-living thing of it, as if it waits for her, her face open as a clock, as if to say, I am all here with my absence, with this apparatus next to me who is me and not me, separate and never separate, this leg, this me, this being alive, this way to walk, and here I am, this blade of unankled grass, strong and cool, now like iced water you can see through, see, making a difference. Taro. When the photo was published, the editors cropped her prosthesis. Thank you. Thank you, Notebooks Collective.
Hi, everyone. I am going to say that we've made it through our first half, which is awesome. And we're just going to take like a 5-minute break and come back at 8:15. So if anyone needs to get a drink or water or whatever, and then we will begin again in just 5 minutes.
Hi, welcome back, everybody. One note, I want to share that tonight's reading has raised $585 so far that will be distributed amongst those links that we shared with you in the registration form. Please feel free to still send that link out to friends and family if you would like to, if you think anybody would like to contribute. And now I'm going to introduce the incomparable Meg Kearney.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Good evening. A big, big thanks to Becca and Lisa. I think I hear someone. Okay. Thanks to Becca and Lisa and all of the work that you do for poets through the Notebook Collective. I'm so happy to read with all of these amazing poets. I thought I would just read 2 poems tonight for tonight's fundraiser for Gaza. 2 poems that were written after the terrorist attacks on September 11th, 2001. The first poem is one that I did not write, and some of you have heard me share this poem before. It was written by a then young boy, a 4th grader named Cameron Penny. And I will share his short poem first. So Cameron Penny says, if you are lucky enough in this life, a window will appear on a battlefield between 2 armies. When the soldiers look into the window, they don't see their enemies. They see themselves as children, and they stop fighting and go home and go to sleep. When they wake up, the land is well again. So wherever Cameron Penny is now, I hope he's still writing. And this poem is called George Says, Stop Writing About Yourself. And it's in my book called Home by Now. I was living in New York on 9/11 and found myself surprised by how often that started to creep into my work after that. So George says, stop writing about yourself. And it's dated New York, December 2001. Just for historical purposes, I'm giving you that date. This one's for George, who urged, take off those shit kicker boots. Leave your husband wrapped in the scroll of last night's sheets. Forget your mother sipping a cigarette, a Dugan's Dew. Forget your other mother and your other father too. And the one you last saw in a coffin looking not at all like himself, so much not him you couldn't bear to be near that body. Forget your first kiss, how it sounded like peanut butter, tasted like a train. Stop talking about the Alabama slammers and 4 blue whales or those men you drove crazy with your push him, pull him love. And don't speak of babies, about not having them or the ugly one who's so much a part of your nights she must be real. Her mongrel face breaking into sadness. Don't talk about holding her above your head, calling her sweet girl, mama's girl, how she almost smiles. Just for George, this poem looks beyond sea monkeys and that first Louisville slugger. It opens the window to the stench. 3 months now of that smell, man-made, human, wafting from downtown. This poem is in the street where war does its thing. See, there's a man walking up Broadway, his shoes, suit, eyelashes, lips covered in dust that used to be a building. And next up, we have Jason B. Crawford. Thanks, everyone.
Hey everyone. Thank you, Becca and Lisa, for inviting me again. I'm gonna read a new poem, I guess. It's coming out of my forthcoming collection, but I kind of just wrote it. It is also a new form that I kind of tried to create. I'm just gonna read it one way, but there are multiple ways to read it. Notes on watching children of color slap box in Union Square while white people are staring in horror. An interrupted sonnet. Sometimes the mouth is turned into a pomegranate, spilling only by the querying of our own hands. We tell a boy to catch us in a spot, and he indeed meets us there. This violence only occurs after the shoulders have concluded their dance. You know the one. A spiraling waltz, shoes carving out the ring for their battle. But who taught the boy how to cradle his fist into rifles? Somewhere on a playground or a back alley or abandoned field, children gather in open palms. Swing, duck, evade, smack, a ring of laughter circling 2 boys, a dance. Swing, duck, evade, smack, forearms. And now stinging flesh is all white onlookers seem to notice in this heat, in this laugh track, in this sea of brown. They stand terrified of this childrened joy. They open their phones, capture the giddiness in violence, question safety set to the back tune of Fox News reports. I hear them. What has this world come to? This used to be a good neighborhood. They transcribe Blackness into the only thing they understand. What savages they elate. They stop and gawk. One gently fingers the need help button next to the station. Another pre-dials the police on her phone. Most duck their eggshell faces in their jackets, worried what violence could unfold, what could break. A desert of red, unbroken skin. Swing and duck and chuckles now pour over into screaming joy. Evade and smack, and the biggest homie stops the play to educate on proper technique. All swats targeted above the chest and duck and swing, and another homie checks for leaking bodies, examines the face for cracks, sends them back out to the field. Evade, duck, smack. Oh, mimicry. The boys filled to the throat in laughter. A good one is landed. A timeout is called. They examine the acreage of the jaw. Declare a winner for this round. Start again. And next up is Soledad Caballero.
Thank you. I'm just going to read two short poems, and I hope that we continue to raise funds for Gaza. I think we're in as Adrienne Maria Brown says, we're in a war of imagination, and I want to imagine a free Palestine. This is from my book, I Was a Belle. You have to leave me twice. She said it as if it were a casual thing. Split the ashes, one for the velatorio here, one for the family mausoleum. Be sure the bones are just enough to fit in a tin can so they don't give you a hard time at security. This is the great divide, mitad y mitad, ¿entiendes? Me repartes. This is how you bury your dead. There will always be two places. Siempre hay dos. The immigrant always carries twin shadows. Siempre está la sombra. You cannot choose north, south, English, Spanish. You can only split sorrow. No hay medio, ¿entiendes? The body has life, but the dead, they have little weight, but sadness. Así es, mi chica, así es. You have to travel to live. You have to travel to die. Me tienes que dejar dos veces. You have to leave me twice. El alma dividida en dos. One soul, two eternities. She stops. Then she asks about the dog. And my last little poem here, I have a friend who asked me what we should be doing and how we should be living. And it comes from this conversation. In the time of the patriarch, the boots march in step, armies of sadness each day, a day closer. All seems to stop but the time of the patriarch. Cancer cells grow like strange vines, bouquets in blood, swimming in black lanes like pinball machines in a maze. Turkey vultures cut through bullet steel skies with finger wings, looking for possum carcasses and squirrel heads. Butterflies lost at sea, thrown off track by gusts, pulse their battered wings in aimless circles. In the meantime, we will cling to the world of light. Look to the sun, talisman, sign of the ancestors. We will birth our bodies out of sky dust and heat, constellations bursting out through black holes. We will sprout song out of our mouths, crucibles of joy, sounding out the bloodways of our stories. We will become myth, Medusa, Cleopatra, Guadalupe, inhabit mitochondrial time, live out of fire and breath. Machines and madness tell only the end of time. We will tell the time of mothers and daughters. We will keep the time of love. And it's my pleasure to introduce Marcia Karp.
Thank you so much. And thank you once again, Lisa and Becca. I'm going to read first a translation and then a poem by David Ferry. Roman Elegy 8, Goethe. When you tell me that you were unpopular as a child and that your mother spoke of you in a rueful tone of voice, and that all this seemed to go on for a very long time, the slow time that it took for you to grow up, I believe you. And I enjoy thinking about that odd, awkward child. The grapevine flower, you know, is nothing much, but the ripened fruit gives pleasure to men and gods. And this is a farewell. Let the day fall like light out of the eye. Out of the ear, let its music go. From the touch, let the touching of air retire. Remain in the dark, dumbly remain in the dark. What will they know of you then, or want, when then in the dark you remain? Knowledge began with the pressure of light on the eye, and the ear spun out of thin air its airy tune. Let no vein flutter or flicker to signal the blood's all but imperceptible errand. Does the skin shudder or shiver at all, at least conjunction? Shrink then into your dark, be locked up in yourself, shadow of shadow, be in your nothing dark. Oh, keep to yourself, be close, be moat, be wall, all dark. Hush, here hush, vanish, know nothing. How then will the daylight knock at the lid in vain? And now we're lucky enough to get to hear Eileen Cleary read.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to Becca and Lisa for having us all here tonight, and I am just gobsmacked with admiration for all of you. I'm going to read two poems. Leaves and Blooms. Soon, April, and those of us who'd frozen our fingers clothes-pinning children's outfits into brightly colored popsicles, or who'd shoveled snow just before the town's plow pushed the icy streets onto our driveways, or who'd spilt the golden retriever's ashes, we'd agreed none of us would scatter until spring, when all of us could gather, blink away lopsided snowmen blinded by hungry does. We notice the neighbors drag away electric deer who glared through our windows for so long that our rescue puppy no longer interrogates them. We cannot help but recall our parents' tree, its poisoned tinsel, or the year Sheba swallowed it while lodged with litter. Or was that the year she'd widened but didn't whelp? The year she'd collected and mothered the ornaments, the year she would not let any of us near the torn rabbit. Anyway, their deer had stood since before the couple left to have their daughter, and long after the morning they returned without her. But let's not fret about Christmas decorations from our past or those strewn on our neighbor's lawn. Mud season arrives despite the stillborn, the earth rolling over as predicted. If we live long enough, we pause when the ground softens, the wood pile dampens, or the sparrow's song is close enough to touch. And this second poem references Miguel Hernandez, the dissident Spanish poet whose family died of starvation. I spoke with a deer by winter in Holly Ridge. Midday, while my rescue dog, fawn-tinged Servine, stood mute, and to my surprise, discreet in the way she paused, her head still as poised as a reading table, her eyes set to deer, the deer transfixed near the curb. Did she grok my desire, her well-being? At ease, the doe sought no leaf litter, no camouflage tree, no unlit shadow to outshadow her underbelly. One must talk to a deer as if they are a painting, only without the benefit of tombstone labels. The artist can see you in the masterpiece. Like any good artist, he has vanished. Let imagination finish. I do. The deer knows my hard night at work, knows I'm walking off another hard luck story. A quarter mile down the road, the Cape house I folded from paper has outlasted 30 years of rain. I'm writing a lullaby for a bright-eyed girl with lilacs on her romper. May she never have to outrun her heart. I am thinking of Miguel Hernandez, imprisoned while his wife subsisted on onion skin, his infant on onion milk, how the larks of his house once knew orange blossoms, how his dark-haired wife emptied her moons into the cradle. If only that were enough. The deer knows my naive aim to tame hunger. Today, the deer translates me to myself, says my name means light, and that for this minute, she is none of my dead. Up next is Rebecca Connors.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to read two poems. The first one is called Heem's Lament. Systolic boom, my way through you, a rush this, cavernous ventricle, vessels a map, my dash, your life. I have kissed your heart. I am places he can't. I took your cuts, seamed them. I am the waves, shoreline. I am the tide in your ears. Oh, I love all of you. Even as I purple under your pinched fingernail or sing in your lungs. When he touches you, the flush, your cheeks peach, I tumble and flip Venus. Your scraped knees curdle with my tears. Tremble lightning and electric breath. If I could, God, get out of your head, your skin, your house. What is it to be unmoored, let loose, and be able to unravel the muscles, your body? Hibiscus tall, I would deadhead your enemies, wring them empty. It's strange how I forget. You have no idea how I am pricked by your thorns, your inability to fly. You can't know I feel your fever, your languidness, your daily dip into antidepressants. And what of me? I want you to know me, plasma boots and a fistful of iron, each notch of spine, each bone wallow, my heart a sea swell, I shake, I drown. And this next poem is called 2 Weeks Stay. The nurses say, welcome, we're so happy you're here. Here, My files a letter to the lovelorn. I smoke, it's expected. Cigarettes appear like tinned candy. My hair is the right degree of dirty, and halos form around my head. I scream as loud as I want at any time, or cry, or stare at the wall. I write and write and write, and though mostly donkey shit, the nurses say, "Good job. We are so proud of you." Gold stars glitter my body. I sleep all day. My petunias never wilt, and peacocks strut among the hemlocks. I confess to my green caftan that I'm tired of everything. The beech trees, with their stony faces, have more resilience. My regrets are a bag of dirty tricks, and I carry them around. And the nurses say, "Who hasn't made mistakes?" They say, "You are doing your best." And my heart unfurls, rewarded like a dried up fern finally feeling mist. I never need to make a decision. My room is a hushed library, and I can finally hear the bees' nuzzling hum above the asters. Oh, I promise to be grateful. I savor the smiles intended for me. They are sweet plums, the hugs, a medicine I learned to drink again. I soothe myself with red Jello in a cup, with another A+ in attendance. We will miss you as my time is up. The nurses cluck and they hover, they hug me tight. As they kiss me goodbye, they whisper, "Daughter, you are always welcome back." And I get to introduce Karen Rigby, who's up next.
Thank you, Becca and Lisa and everyone for being here. I'll be reading you 2 short poems. Lemons in August. Mineral green Lisbons poised in the desert. I'm watching bees drunk with sun, a blistered leaf. Outside Phoenix, west of the municipal airport, cicadas drone in the mesquite's shade. All morning, the story on Reuters is bombing. I'm counting spent blooms on the vine. What good are the rosemary, orange jubilee scaling uniform walls? The lemons are courting monsoons, acidic, too soon to harvest, too late to save. I've nothing to add to the prophets. Lizard's pulse under jasmine, a lone contrail, that's the sky. The roses. Daily the beatitudes, phosphorus struck in midnight air, flame cupped against rain, dead-headed rose crowned with bees. Daily the cut arrangements, threaded in chain link, yellow tape dividing yesterday's gunfire from today's erasure. The roses are edged with bruises. The roses, American red, absorb the floodlit street. The roses hang nightlong in their jagged mourning, scent the air with mottled plum, ask only to open once, prophecy, and die. Please welcome Jessica Cuello.
Hi, Lisa and Rebecca, thank you so much for gathering all of us together. It feels good to be here among everyone. It gets kind of lonely out here. I'm going to read 2 poems that are newish. I've never read these before. Chagall's The Poet with the Birds. The man dreams under the tree, or is he dead? My students can never agree. How sealed is that scene? Peaceful but sealed, and the birds are cut out. Their outlines remain, but they have fled. How to be free, that is what the man dreams. Folded arms, ankles crossed. When I was a nanny, The girl in my hands smelled of the soap the family used. They always fed me, and when I used that soap years later, her tiny cheeks returned to me, rising skyward on the swing. In the Chagall, the sky is smudged with blue, and the poet seems to gaze upward, but his eyes are wells of black that look inward at loss. If you don't have someone in a time like that, you don't have family. Then you covered me in clean sheets. We watched La Strada together before we never talked again. You hummed along when the fool played his violin, and once in the dark, you put your hand on my side to say, "That's old. It isn't here now. There were no violins in my childhood school. My mom rented a trumpet for my brother, and when it went unpaid, someone knocked on the door and took it away. Everything has a purpose," says the fool, "even this pebble. I never cried when I left home, but my friend, for 3 years I cried if I said your name." Jealousy is a mutation of desire. I dream I meet my 6-year-old self and she kneels by the river. Her clothes don't fit properly. She has gaps in her teeth. I must pretend to love her. She leans into the absent space where my mother does not show me how. My mother holds another girl. I can barely stand to see how well she loves. I cannot touch her. The womb is a house. Do you want what's in it? Even the cat is a competition for love. She lies on my chest each night. She slices the thin skin below my mother's eye. There is my prize, fat want, heavy want, want of ages. Smoke tinges the air so lightly. We are not sure it's there until we are told the fires reach this far. I won. The cat chooses to die on my bed while I move out forever. For days we breathe the air that comes from the other coast, someone else's pain, and we live inside it, but we don't know it. Thanks.
Hi again. I wanted to get Lisa up here. There's Lisa.
I was trying to do both and I couldn't do them at the same time. It's time to end, which seems sad and also wonderful for spending this time together. So, dear readers, thank you. Thank you for your time. And dear everybody, thank you for your donations. Becca and I are thrilled to be able to be with you tonight and to donate money to on the ground campaigns in Gaza. I have learned from someone who tried to donate during the reading, and because the registration link is no longer active, you cannot donate through our webpage anymore. You can, however, donate at the links we have put in the event page, which I just dropped a link in the chat. And I hope that if you are able, you continue to donate. I'm sure every little bit helps. A plug from us, please follow the Notebooks Collective on our social media accounts and sign up for our newsletter if you haven't already. I also dropped that in the chat. We will make a recording available soon. And now I would love if everybody would unmute and give everyone a round of applause because that was really amazing.
And I'm going to take a quick screen grab so I can get a picture of everyone because this makes me so happy to see everyone together. So just everyone say, I don't know, smile. No, wait, hold on. This is broken. Hold on. I appreciate you all trying again. Okay, one more time. Thank you. Smile. Okay, I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much. And like Lisa said, we will make the recording available very soon. Thanks to all our readers and to everyone who came. And we wish you a wonderful night. Thank you.
Thank you, Becca and Lisa.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Meg.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, it went so fast.
Fast.